Howdy folks, it's Matt here, also known as Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician if you watch my channel. But right now, over a cup of coffee, I'm coming to you as Matt. I'd like to give you some updates on how my DNA search is going for my birth family, bio family, whatever you want to call them. Just a real quick recap if you're just joining this conversation, which is probably going to be labeled like DNA, adoption, search, and stuff like that. If you're just now joining this conversation, I was told that I was abandoned by a horrible, evil woman at 10 months old that I should never want to find. And then I was adopted at about 2.5 years old. I spent a little bit of time in foster care. I have found out that my adoption was a private adoption. The family that adopted me severely abused me. I ended up back in the foster care system where I graduated out of the foster care system at the age of 18. Multiple foster homes, residential treatment centers, you name it, all that other, horrible stuff and whatnot. So now here I am. I'm 41 years old, and I am using DNA technology, ancestry, to hopefully find whoever my birth family is, wherever they are. I've lived this long with no origin, no understanding, no attachment, anything like that. So it's been an interesting journey up until this point. It's also been an extremely hard journey as well, and I've learned some very interesting things. So right out the door, I've come to find out that as an adoptee in this nation, in this wonderful nation that we live in, I am actually a minority. And as an adoptee born in this country, even though I'm a born American citizen, my rights are not the same as a non-adoptee person or citizen. So for example, something I've found quite interesting, I have no right, because the state of Texas is a closed adoption state, and because of the way things are handled there, as an adoptee, I actually do not have a right to my original birth certificate and or my original records, which is just bottom line wrong. That is wrong, and that's not okay. That's a violation of human rights. So I do not have direct access to any type of history, DNA history, medical history, knowledge, names, none of that. We have hit a brick wall with all of my medical records. Not only, though, do I not have direct access, but more than likely what we're looking at is an adoption that involves birth certificate fraud and many other issues that were very common in the 1980s, which I was adopted in around 1982. So one of the things I've come to find out is everything that's been fed to me about my adoption, my abandonment, everything has come through a filter, and that's a private adoption agency. And so at this point, what we have found out is nothing is true, everything is false, and there is more than enough evidence there to prove that somebody probably wiped my original birth certificate out, and that this story of me being abandoned more than likely is not true, especially when you start looking at some facts and stuff. And so that's been a lot to swallow and process. Now then, to put the rights that are being violated into perspective, first of all, adoptees in this country only make up for about 6 to 10% of the country's population. Add in the fact that I do not have the same rights to my genealogy, my history, as somebody that is born to a parent and kept by a parent. They can access their history just fine. My children born to me and my wife can access their live birth certificate at the hospital and their records free anytime they want, okay? Not only can my children have access to their live birth certificates since they are not adopted, this is a certified pedigree, okay? This is the certified pedigree for my French bulldog. All right, and you can see here her name is Daphne Danger. That's my French bulldog's name. And along with it are her parents, her grandparents, and her great-grandparents. So that's what? 1, 2, 3. That's 3 generations of birth history, and we even have the DNA on there as well. So that's 3 generations of birth history, DNA, and medical history and knowledge that my dog literally has easier access to her DNA, genealogy, history than I do as a human being in this country. Now, I know this is a shock. I know that even when you're presented with the facts of it, the actual reality of it, it's hard to believe. But there it is right there. Right here. My dog, it took nothing to get this information on my dog. And yet I am not allowed access to my original birth certificate, my original records, you name it. And I'm not the only adoptee out here in this country that is struggling with that is having their human rights directly violated. So, and that's only just a little taste of the pie of some of the things that I've really been finding out about adoptions in this country, the adoption process as it's been sold to us, the narrative and the picture that's been painted concerning the adoption process is just all wrong. And so as I move forward with this search, and as I start presenting statistics and different perspectives on what adoption is, I want people to fully understand that I am not attacking the people that are adopting children. I'm not attacking the people that are adopting children out. I'm not attacking adoption, so to speak, but I am going after the adoption process as we view it, and the perspective that we have of it, and the narrative that has been sold to us concerning what adoption really is. And I'm asking that we question our current beliefs and perspective on that, and possibly consider that we may be looking at some things wrong, and we may be unintentionally alienating a whole demographic of people in our country that doesn't need to be alienated, and that does not need to be a minority. So there you have it. I'm going to keep most of these videos short for you guys, unless I start getting feedback saying, hey man, keep it up with this adoption stuff. I never, looked at it from this perspective. This is awesome. So there's a little bit of a tidbit of information for you. The next video, I'll update you on some statistics I found, why I'm struggling so hard to even get any information, and some of the direct human rights that are also being violated throughout this whole situation. So also, my DNA has been sent off. It has been accepted by Ancestry. So at this point, it's only a matter of weeks before hopefully we find out who my parents are, who my family is, where I come from, all that other good stuff. So definitely stay tuned and shoot me some feedback on whether or not you guys are interested in this. And, maybe together we can unite and make a change. So, alrighty, folks. Well, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, signing off.